Morning, everyone. Hope your Wednesday hasn't been too bad so far. Just to introduce myself quickly, my name is Aidan Graham. I'm a junior support engineer at Adroit. I've been at Adroit for just over a year and a half now. Some of my roles are project support, testing. My primary role at the moment is Sigfox and MQTT. So those are the projects I'm currently working on, and we'll be going over some of the projects I've done and are currently in progress during this webinar. I'm going to be covering the basics of five to 10. Sorry, can everyone hear me?
You broke in and out a little bit for me.
Okay, here we go. Is that better?
Yes. Yeah, for me, yes.
Okay, perfect. So today we're just going to be covering the very basics of IoT and MQTT. Today's webinar is to look at the real-world application and what we've done with it. If you want in-depth how to use, what it is, what are the fundamentals of them. We've got videos on our website and on our YouTube channel that cover it from start to scratch. So just for the agenda for today, we're going over IoT basic overview, then the IoT demo, MQTT basic overview, and then the MQTT demo. Right now, what is IoT? How I understand IoT, the Internet of Things, refers to an interrelated, internet-connected object that are able to connect and transfer data over a wireless network without human intervention. It replaces that need for somebody to go and check something, or that extra bit of work for you to go and collect all of this data. It does it for you. You can have it all come to one point. It's ease of life. It makes your life 1,000 times easier. And the data that you can collect much more frequent than if you had somebody walk into a whole bunch of different sites. Just a very simple example. I recently went to a water facility, and let's call him Bob. Bob had to wake up, get to work. He had to go to over 30 water meters on this plant and write down every single one of the values. Then he had to go to over 10 tanks, and he had to go measure the height of them. By then, he was at lunchtime. He would have his lunch and he would start from scratch again. He would go through the whole process, then he would finish, he would go have his tea, and then he would start the whole process again. Just for 3 readings from each device. If you put IoT devices on those water meters, if you put a level meter in those tanks, Bob's job would be 1,000 times easier. His job would be to sit there and monitor and facilitate that just the devices are working. They could help you where there is a flow issue, whenever there's a problem there, whether the tanks are empty and not filling up. You know they're meant to be filling up, but you can see that they're not. Instead of having to walk there every time, loss of time, it makes your life 1,000 times easier. Just some basic examples of IoT, whether it's in our industry or not: household water monitoring, tank level monitoring, energy usage monitoring, vehicle tracking, smart home security systems, wearable health monitors, smart factory equipment, wireless inventory trackers, shipping container, and logistics tracking. So as you can see, all of these can be done by a person. Well, besides the wearable health monitors, but then you're paying for a doctor. They can be done by people, but we are here to make everybody's job a whole lot easier. Quicker data, easier, speeds up everything. Some of the devices we've worked on: flow meters, pressure meters, level sensors, energy, analog systems, asset management, etc., etc. We've worked on anything and everything that there can be with regards to IoT in our industry at the moment. Why use IoT? More data means better decisions, ability to track and monitor things, lighten the workload with automation, increase efficiency, saving money and resources, better quality of life. Just from the example I gave above, all of these apply. It just makes your life 1,000 times easier. It can speed up, save you money. It really is a good option. What you're looking at now is a very simple project. I think it was 2 days to do. We've just installed a couple of IoT devices in for a factory. They've got a couple of tanks, they've got a couple of industrial water meters, and we've got some dry contact devices. They've got all of this monitored now, so instead of having 5 guys running around their site, they come to their SCADA, they click on a graph, and they know exactly what's going on there. Just over here, you could see this is a Visio Ultrasonic 5 meter. That is a level sensor sitting at the top of a tank. We can see tanks empty, 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 tank fills up, goes back down, fills up again, goes back down. We of course have an analytical breakdown of this, so if you want individual readings, you just click on a different tab. Very simple. Dry contacts, these are busy monitoring whether a PLC is running or not. Anything that you want just to check that your factory is up and running, that your water levels are sitting where they're meant to be, where your energy is meant to be. If you're using too much energy, all of that is covered. Over here, we have another customer, Zutari. We have installed, yet again, ultrasonic level meters. These are the 3.5 ones in culverts throughout Norwood. So there's a whole bunch of sinkholes going on around there because of the high water usage and the rains and everything. So they wanted to monitor how much water is actually coming through these culverts. So we've installed them in the culverts. You can see when it's busy raining, they add all of these numbers up together. They say, okay, this culvert is not fit for purpose. It can't handle that amount of water. Development will have to go there, and hopefully that can resolve the sinkhole problem in Norwood. So whether it's factory and automation use, research and development, outdoors, most of this stuff can be handled by IoT devices. Another very simple one is we're doing household water monitoring. We are busy using a Visio util device that's sitting on a water meter down in Bridgestone. What we can see is daily usage, if there's a leak, if there's any problems with it, if there's no usage, if they're out on holiday but there's still 300 liters being used, and we know that he doesn't have his garden system on, there's a problem. So we send him messages to his phone on our Droid Air app that says suspected water leak, more than 325 liters used between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. So yet again, it allows you to monitor stuff when you're not away, or when you are away, and just easy to read stuff. You know you're not home, but over the last hour you've used 300 liters of water. There's a problem at your house, or your sprinklers are on, or you're filling up your pool. So of course, within reason, but very simple, helps a lot. And then of course we give a full breakdown report on that. And then you can see if the municipality is telling you the right things or if they're lying to you. Simple as that. So guys, that was just a brief overview. Does anyone have any questions on what we've gone over?
Not so far. All seems cool.
Okay. Anyone else? Guys, if you do have questions and you don't want to speak about them now, please just leave them in the comments of the webinar. I'll get your name and email, and I'll send out an email with any answers you have. If you want to know about the configuration and the setup of IoT, I'm more than happy to send out a quick video on how that's done. It's a very simple process when it comes to Sigfox, so there's no rush or anything there. It's a simple device, easy, and you can monitor it, no problem. MQTT. This is the thing I love. I'm a MQTT fan over a Sigfox fan because of the very simple element of control. Sorry, let me just go back. MQTT is the standard protocol for messaging and data exchange of the Internet of Things. The protocol uses a publish and subscribe architecture. The technology provides a scalable. What is going on now? Am I skipping pages? Basically, MQTT is IoT with control. You can publish and you can subscribe to a broker. It's a lot more secure and it gives you a lot more leeway with what you want to do. Over here, we have a very simple option. Do you want to do MQTT or IoT? Just from my experience, if you want sturdy monitoring with control, MQTT or Adroit M2N. We have videos on that as well on our website and on YouTube. And then if you want to do very simple monitoring like that water usage or the tank levels, then we're going to be going with Sigfox and using those VisioSoft devices. Of course, there's millions of devices out there. There's nothing limiting anyone to using VisioSoft. And then full telemetry, we go in GSM and 5G and local radio network. But today we're just going to be covering MQTT. Basics of MQTT, how it works. In MQTT, the process of sending messages is called publishing, and receiving messages. An MQTT client most subscribes to an MQTT topic. So we've got our SCADA that sits at our offices. We have a broker, which can be Azure, it can be Amazon, it can be whatever you want sitting in the cloud. And then we've got a humidity sensor, temperature control, humidity control out in the field somewhere. We set those devices to look at the broker. The broker we are currently using is HiveMQ. They offer a free package, 10 gigabytes, unlimited time frame. It's actually brilliant for what we're using it for at the moment. So we are busy subscribing to the broker from these devices. So these devices speak straight to it, and then we subscribe as the agent server to the broker. We speak to the broker. In the broker sits the humidity sensor data, the temperature data, and the humidity control. We bring that back into Adroit and we start analyzing that data and whatever we want. So we bring back the temperature control. We get it into Adroit, we see, okay, temperature is a bit high, let's lower it. We then publish back to that device through a string, through an IoT agent, whatever you want, that allows us to then change what's in the field. This, of course, is the big difference between Sigfox and MQTT, because this allows for that extra level of control. So that's just diagram representation of what I said. We're going to be using the SPA demo today. This is a project that I've recently started on. We have a whole bunch of different devices that are going to be in the field. They're going to be monitoring the fridges, the water usage, the energy usage. We're going to be having a couple of open I/O in the field. This is all going to go back to a LoRa device master link. So instead of going off Wi-Fi like a lot of these devices do, we're going to be going off a SIM card based device. And then this will publish it back to the broker, from the broker to our servers, and that's where we do all of our work. And then of course, vice versa, if we need to change something, we publish something through that broker back to the devices, and then we control. We want to turn on a buzzer when a door's left open too long. These fridges are left on overnight. We don't want that. We want to turn it off. We can control that with the touch of a button. Very simple. So don't worry, it's not over yet. I'm going to just run over the SPA project. So currently we're using something called a MOCO plug. This is a very simple device that you'll plug those Red Bull fridges or those Coke fridges into at the tills. Those use quite a bit of energy, and we need to monitor how much energy they're using so we can build a proper report that we can hand off. So right now we only have one, which we've got a testing unit. The rest will be arriving next week. And as you can see, we open it up. We've got the daily energy, we've got the hourly energy, you've got your alarm points. Those just toggle colors, but the main thing is this is also set up on the drift. So we will have, we'll have those messages going to the store manager's phone saying, fridge number 7, energy usage way too high. You need to go do something, you need to go turn it off, you need to go shut the door, it's drawing way too much energy trying to cool. We're going to have a whole bunch of other devices, which I'll bring up now. So we've got an AccuEnergy device which sits on the main DB and gives us a full breakdown of all of the power usage on all of the different lines. The point of this SPAR project is we're going to be building reports on their power usage and how we can save them power. We can tell them that the ovens have been sitting on for 3 hours before you guys actually start baking anything, that your freezers are constantly left open and they are using so much power. Your air cons during summer compared to winter, how much power usage are you using? Is there a better way to do this? We've got from door opens, door close, output relays, current monitoring, temperature monitoring. We've got anything that they want, we've been able to put in there. And we're going to fully kit out the whole store with all the devices, and then we're going to be bringing all of that information back through MQTT, and we're going to be building reports on that. MQTT, part of it, very simple. We've just got our broker, very low data usage. As you can see over here, we have had this Moco plug and other devices for, I think, 2 months now. In 2 months, they have only used 42.45 megabytes of data, which means the strain on anything is nothing when you're going through MQTT. It's very simple understanding. And then when we look at how they work, we'll be getting back something like this. You'll be getting back the voltage, the current, power factor, power, today energy, all energy, 30-day energy, anything you want. There's devices all over the world that you can go look at for different requirements, different specs. Bring it in through MQTT. We define the slots, and then from these slots, we put them into analogs, digitals, and whatever we need, and then we build you a nice looking SCADA. But it depends what you're looking for. Right now, this is a great idea for them, and we've already found some ways that we can start saving them energy, but we are in the early stages of the project. So guys, that was just a very brief overview of what we're currently working on with IoT and MQTT, the devices we're using, the projects we're on. Does anyone have any questions or any scenarios that they think IoT or MQTT might benefit them that we could possibly help with?
Not from me personally, as we've got quite a quiet audience. I thought I'd pipe in, but yeah, very good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Aidan. That was quite informative. Thank you very much.
Thanks, James. Guys, if you do have any questions or any problems, or you want to look more in depth at it, please just pop me an email or give me a call. I'll go through the in-depth how to set up MQTT, how to set up IoT. If you do have a current solution or problem that you're looking at and you would like to look at this as an avenue and option, please just give me a call. We can sit down, have a talk. As you know, this was a very brief overview just to show everyone what's currently going on at Adroit in this department, the very basics of it. Okay, so no further questions, nothing, then thank you everyone. Thanks for your time, and hopefully be hearing from some of you soon.